I still can't eat as much as I used to, but my appetite has changed remarkably. And you know what? I am gonna make popcorn because I just want to.
I forget it. Okay. Tara's making popcorn. Oh, Tara girl, Tara girl. It's a cool little matte painting.
Yeah. You know, crazy. Nina?
Now just imagine, yeah.
Nina?
Imagine Nina Kuni. Nina, no, no.
Nina, Kuni, Wawa. Oh, yeah. That's oh.
We need to get more evolution stones. I don't like that that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I don't know why they structured the game the way that they did.
Yeah.
No other game really does it that way, which is fine.
They like want to be like Pokemon, but they're like, not quite though. Not exactly.
Not exactly. We're Studio Ghibli.
It's like
Um,
Pokemon. Well, sorta. So right now we're trying to find someone with really good restraint because you fell asleep during this part, but the queen has grown really fat and giant, and she can't stop eating cheese. And
what?
yes, Her Majesty, she's a cow. She cannot stop eating
Seriously?
cheese. Yeah. And so she can't stop
That's
eating.
kind of gross, actually, because
Yeah.
it's like she's eating her own earwax or something.
That's a good point. Like, would you eat a cheese made of breast milk?
Fuck no.
I would.
Did you say you would or you would not?
I would. If I loved the woman.
Oh my god.
Because you know what?
Would you really?
It was made with love. Yes.
That's kind of gross.
Tara. It was made.
Sorry, I don't mean to judge.
It was made with love.
This is true.
So there's
Would you eat the placenta?
absolutely not.
That thing looks so gross.
Yeah. I would slurp it up like spaghetti.
Just eat a steak or something, god damn it. Like,
You're making. I'm gonna gag. That is so fucking gross. Just imagining chewing this placenta. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what these flavors I'm getting here are. But yeah. This is you could have done better.
you're talking to me about my placenta?
This is an imaginary situation.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm really getting some barnyard flavors.
Barnyard organs. Rankiness.
This is definitely like the backside of a horse. We gotta watch Bizarre Foods
You're
again.
eating. What am I eating right here? That's the horse's rectum. Yeah, it's got a barnyardness to it. Like, it's just a euphemism for tastes like shit. Literally.
Tastes like actual shit. Mr. Abul, sir, we found out about someone with a whole lot of restraint. Yeah, this is excellent news. You must tell me, who is it? It's you! Me, but impossible. Not in the slightest, Peter Patience. Look at Ollie Boy's locket. It's glowing up a treat. Would you let us borrow some of your restraint, Mr. Abul? Well, of course you may. For Her Majesty, anything. What must I do? There's nothing to it. Just lie back and think of Alimamoon. Well, get on with it, Ollie Boy. Alright, take heart. Give me your restraint.
Ollie Boy.
Give me your restraint. Give me your restraint. Yeehaw!
Power to resist the demon of temptation. Wow.
I need that with, like, Cheerios.
I need that for everyday life. The temptation of popcorn, and there were dumplings out there I could not resist.
She's saying, cheesy wheeze. Mountains of delicious cheesy wheeze.
Also, the temptation to turn into Her Majesty.
Yeah. Tara, I think you would be. I think you would be beautiful at that size.
What? Trust me, I wouldn't.
Well, I'm gonna take away your restraint. We'll find out.
I don't want people to come for me because of, like, body negativity.
Oh. Oh.
She was like in a cheese coma or something.
Oh, she was lazy and just eating cheese every day, so yeah,
Oh.
kinda.
Goodness.
Oh. She's quite terrifying.
Goodness, we feel quite marvelous. Whatever could have happened to us?
I love the
These
royal
humble
way.
servants made your majesty's ailing heart whole again.
The royal way.
The royal we. We love what you've done. It's
Oh, that?
yeah, and us. You've given us quite a treat here.
Who is we? Who is us?
But of course, it's us.
You didn't answer my question.
I pray that our beloved Khalifa's most generous appetite has now abated.
Well, now, we still wish to enjoy the finer things in life, of course. But we have come to feel that a measure of gastronomic restraint may serve to set a good example for our daring.
It has been a gastronomic night tonight, don't you think?
Yeah.
Your words are music to the ears of your people. Al Mamun can return to its
Andrew, would
former
you consider
magnificence.
yourself to be a gastronaut?
Well, as of tonight, yes.
Yeah, now you're
I'm
on
a-
the gastronaut path.
Yeah.
Try to find out the mystery of the Cheerios.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I was actually doing the Pokemon thing there. A wingle and a prayer. That's how every episode starts. Yeah.
For the Westerners.
Yeah.
Yeah!
That would be
That's
great.
the American version.
That would be great if that's how Pokemon started, with a yeehaw.
Munificent Khalifa.
Yeehaw,
Shouldn't our servants
kiddos!
not be rewarded for their services to Al Mamun?
Indeed, they should. Boy, is there something you desire?
Yes, Your Majesty. If it's not too much trouble.
Well, what is it?
We'd like to borrow your ship.
Ship? A little floaty woaty. Yes, of course. But of course you may borrow it. It is of little use to us. We will write a letter to the captain, ordering him to help you in any way he can.
You will? Gee. Thank
Gee.
you, Your Majesty.
Tidy, the boat is in the bag.
Tidy. I love that.
But why in the world would a dear little thing like you have need of our floaty woaty? Yeah.
You know what things like English people do? They like to rhyme, like Piggly Wiggly, Floaty Woaty.
Yeah, it's because they have infant brains and we're smart Americans, so.
I just noticed they like to do that.
Yeah.
We asked you a question.
Also, my mom is 25% English, so I started calling her Lori Puppet. Yeah.
I really like that. Lori Poppin.
I was like, oh, I was gonna call her Mary Poppins, but I was like, Lori Poppet? She's like, I'm more British than you are. And I was like, you're really British.
And Scottish. How much Scot does she have in her?
Like, barely any.
Oh, so it's your papa.
Yeah.
Your papa's got the Scott.
Well,
Yeah, he didn't know.
Me and your papa, we might share some common blood.
He was like 10%. He was like not super excited about it. And I was like, why don't you like the Scots? And he was just like, they're they're too abrasive of a people. Like he thinks that they're like fucking like savages or some shit.
They're all Shrek.
No, he thinks that they're like brutes. And I'm like, what?
Well, that's cool. That means they're manly men. You should want to be like that.
He's kind of a pacifist. He
Not
thinks
me.
violence is like weak. He thinks that if you have to like beat somebody up to show your dominance, like he thinks that's weakness.
You see, no, I think it's manly. I think there needs to be more killing in the world. War, famine, definitely more famine. And,
You know, like all these things have happened already and like it didn't work.
well, there needs to be more trifling. I think there needs to be a lot more trifling.
Trifling.
okay.
Trifling like that's so vague. Like what do you mean?
Just that.
I'm not getting very far tonight, people. With my follow-up questions. It's just not happening.
The great
Well,
sages.
I just want to say I'm glad that we found out that Taylor owns a town in Florida, in France.
Abel, we know of them.
Yeah,
Do we
Lauzon, France.
Laos.
They make vinegar there,
They do.
and
But little has been heard
there
of those
is
men since the
there's
Battle of
and that's
Arstotzka.
it. And there's nothing else in town except the vinegar place. You have also the vinegar place is also the bed and breakfast. It's also the police station. And
Yeah, so you get a bed and breakfast when you go to jail, so that's kind of nice. But basically anything you have for breakfast has to have vinegar in it.
yeah.
So cereal and milk. Yeah, you're
It's
getting
also
some-
the community center.
Yeah. It's also the community toilet. Yeah. Yeah.
Face. The face. The community toilet. What? The community only has one toilet? They all have to go there.
Yeah.
Community bathroom.
Yeah.
Gosh. It's also the grocery store.
Sages travel.
But you can
And
only
the
buy
hardware
vinegar.
store.
Yeah.
And that's all you really need in town.
Yeah.
We
Truly.
need their help.
Look at Bancroft. That's all you need. You need one hardware store,
Should
one grocery store, maybe one pub, one hotel,
Yeah.
one everything of the necessities, basically.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's enough to sustain a whole small town. But you have to shop at these places, otherwise the whole town will fall apart.
Yeah. You can't. No Walmart's allowed. That's like
No Kmart. Sorry.
that's like Juness in Persona 4.
Well, Juness was like kind of ruining the economy,
Yeah.
I guess. But
Every day's great
But
at
Persona
your
4
Juness.
yeah, I guess it's a kind of a small town. But
Yeah, Inaba.
I'm talking really small.
What?
That
is
town was
allowed?
still big compared to some small towns in America.
You're right, yeah.
We are not unamused. But we can see that you speak in earnest. Very well. We will
She
tell
does
you
speak
what
in
we
like the third
know.
person.
Yeah.
You will?
Or what
I
is
can't wait
that?
to hear
We. I guess that's the second person or some shit, right? I is first. Third person is they.
There is actually a way of saying it. It's literally a royal thing. I don't know what it's called.
There were
I know, but
once
like, what
four
person is it?
great
What,
sages.
what would it
I would
call?
say it's third person because it's
One
referring
of
to you
them
as a.
was defeated by Shaddai.
I would think it would be closer to first person
Oh.
because she's referring to herself and other people.
But we know of one who did not perish.
You do?
Well,
He lives in the land of Hamlin, a detestable and warlike realm. Ah, but he is a handsome young thing. We even keep a picture of him.
Ooh, let's see it.
A bull?
I'm so cold.
crikey, sounds like
I'm
she's got
so
a bit of a
small
crush on the
compared
poor
to
lad.
her.
So this is one of the great sages, huh?
Looks like a
That's
pretty
clue and a
boy.
half, that is, Ollie boy. There's lucky.
Oh, I really wish the whole game was voiced. I really like these voice actors.
Now, before you take your leave, we shall teach you some magic to aid you on your journey.
Really? You're a wizard too, Your Majesty.
Well, not a fully fledged.
Tara, look how
wizard,
jolly she
perhaps,
is.
but we
Are you saying
royals all
she
know a few
resembles
select
Santa Claus?
spells. King Tom and
No, it's just like a fat happiness. She does things fatly, which is nice. Fatly but kindly.
He sure does. He taught me some real neat magic.
I can't make sense of your words.
How quaint. We hope that you will find our own still neater. Here.
Ooh, what's this? Nature's tongue. Converse freely with both flora and fauna. Burden. Adds extra heft to a particular object or person.
Oh yeah, man. That's a cracker, that is. A real classic, like.
It's your lucky day, Oliver.
Yeah.
May it
When
serve
can we
you
give
well.
Drippy like his time in the spotlight?
Do be
I know,
careful
I hope we-
out there
I hope we
now,
give it to
won't
him.
you?
Yes, Your Majesty. Thank you, Your Majesty.
I had bad recursive pickleball dreams last night. So I think I got some really bad junk sleep last night.
Yeah, now you're feeling it now.
Oh no, I've been feeling it all day. But yeah, they were very unsatisfying dreams. I kept playing.
Did
it's
you have like a bad session, or was it good, or was Alana still
honestly,
pissed
it
at
was a
you?
lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I think that was probably the best session this season. And sure enough, the people that were fucking ruining it weren't there last night. Heh. We also got pushed out of the A bracket, which sucks, but honestly, it was kind of welcome. We would have gotten our asses absolutely handed to us, but we had some really good games. We were in the finals, me and her, and we unfortunately got eliminated in the final match, so we were second place. So.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I was happy. I was genuinely happy with how it turned out. I had a lot of fun last night. Alana was upset with herself because technically she blew it. She crumbled, but I don't ever blame like that. I think it's fun. I think we had a lot of fun.
It's just opportunities to like get better, you know?
Right.
If you have like a problem with choking, like keep trying until you figure out what it is that's making you do that. You know? Opportunity for growth.
I don't know if I choke per se. I don't get in my head like Alana does, but Alana's mental state genuinely does really affect her level of play.
Yeah, that's why the like athletes they talk about like flow state.
They talk about what?
It's called the flow state. And
We did it!
it's like Michael Jordan called it getting in the zone.
Right.
But it's like a state of consciousness where you can't miss a shot. But you're not thinking, you're just doing. And that's being in the flow. But like once you recognize you're in the flow, it immediately takes you out of the flow. So that's the tricky part about it. Like you just have to get in the zone. And that's why, by the way, you know that one football player that was reading something about like the art of stillness or something like that. And then it blew up on Amazon. And now it's a #1 bestseller and it was like a fucking no-name author self-publishing book. And then everyone saw him reading it in playoffs. And then all of a sudden now it's #1 and has been for weeks now. Fucking weird. Anyway, but it's called like the art of stillness. And it's about, I'm sure, I don't even have to read the description. I'm sure it's about getting in the flow state. I'm sure it's about getting in the zone. Why else would he be reading it on the sidelines?
I definitely know the feeling of being in the flow state.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
It's creative. Like, it doesn't even have to be in sports. It can be in, like, video editing.
Oh, for sure. The video editing, I definitely have a flow. And when it gets interrupted, it's interrupted badly. And that's why it's so much better to, like, when people aren't around and walking into my fucking office. My phone obviously interrupts my flow state. But, like, when I'm in it, I'm in it. Like, perfect examples. Us doing the dailies, the daily video. You, me, Taylor, when you were at my house. Like, I was in a flow state for those. I was so fucking tired at the end of the day editing those. But
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, but I did it. Because I was in a flow state. I feel it. Like, I feel that creativity. Because I was really enjoying it. And when I did the Ghost Adventures, I edited that the same night that I filmed, the day that I filmed it. So, yeah. That's a big part of it, just enjoying what you're doing. But, like, professionally, I get in the flow state.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that was so fun, and now I get to, like, relive it in a way, too. Like, or you get to abide in that while you're video editing and making something out of something else.
Yeah. Oh. What's this guy? This guy looks like your brother.
What?
Him again? No, the picture, it's gone. The letter of passage too, he stole them both. Greggy's a pain in the neck, that one. Come on, then we best get him after a minute. But yeah, with like pickleball, like it's almost like me going like anime mode, like I'm powered up. It's my charge state. Ah, that big pot you have, is it a cauldron? Yep, that's right. You must be a wizard. Okay, she has a quest for me. You need a flint dagger and an emberstone. Yeah, like I started off the night 100% in a flow state. Like I was really fucking handing it to the people we were playing against, and it felt fucking good. But yeah, Alana really cracked under pressure, unfortunately, in the last match. We had it in the bag too. Fuck, we had it. But the unfortunate thing is that team has beaten us in the finals before, so it's like double aggravating. Like in the same exact situation. But yeah, Alana definitely cracked, and even if we did beat them, we would have had to have done one more match, which once again would have been the elimination match because they had more wins than us. So, look, it's him. I told you to get this boat moving. Letter pass does not belong to you. I know you, thief. You stole it from whom? Who cares? Shut up and let me on board, will you? I've got the letter. That means I get to ride on the ship. I know my rights. Now, are you going to take me to the Autumnia or not? Belay there, friend. There is no need to be so agitated. What is urgent that it may not wait for a favorable wind? I need to find him. I need to tell him. Him? Who's him? Listen, I just have to go there and see someone, okay? He's doing it all wrong. So I have to go and show him how to do it right. Come on, take me there. You are known in this town. Why would I let one such as you aboard my precious ship? Listen, I have to get there, alright? If anything happens because you won't take me, you won't forget it in a hurry. Save your empty threats and tell me instead of whom you speak. Why would you have me take you to him? None of your business. Now shut up and get this boat moving. Stop. Give us back our things. Damn it, not you again. You've returned, lad. Well met. Wait, the letter of passage, is it yours? Yes, Captain, he stole it from us. Just as I thought, the Khalifa would never grant such a privilege to a common criminal. Begone. Does that mean you're not going to take me? But can't you see? Can't you see it's all for him? I have to get to the Empire. Arg! Oh, something's wrong with him. What is this? Careful, boy. Something's not right here.
He's got really bad BO.
That black mist? No, it's just that he has a negative emotion that's taking over him. It's a nightmare. A nightmare, Oliver. What does that mean? Be careful, Esther. It's going to attack. What? Oh no.
Jeepers! Goodness!
It's kind of like Persona.
Did people really say Jeepers in the 50s? Like, seriously?
You better Jeep and believe it.
I just only hear people say it in movies. I guess that's whatever. It's like the only things I actually watch. I kind of want to read, OMG. This is going to come over. Do your mid-journey hours roll over?
Good question. I don't believe so.
Even if you had like bought it for a month and you only use like 100 minutes or whatever, 100 hours, and you have 100 left, like they just take it away from you. Don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out because I canceled my subscription because I don't really need it. Or I don't know if I'll need it in the future, so I just canceled it. Trying to save some money.
Whoa, look at this guy. Lamar. I have no MP.
Oliver! Here goes nothing.
Oh, no, no, no. I fucking hell. Provisions. 200 HP. Strong coffee. Let's give this to her. Why is iced coffee worse than strong coffee? He put a grudge on me. Bitch.
Well, I just got bitch slapped.
We did it!
Nice.
Everyone's really leveling up.
Yeah.
Oh. Can I read a little bit of the book?
Yes, you can. You got taken over my nightmare mode. Thinking I might have made you a little bit funny turn, like. Can you have our picture back now? Shut up, all of you. Get away from me. If you come one step closer, I'll tear your precious picture into tiny pieces. What should we do, Mr. Drippy? I think he's still heartbroken. What he's missing, though, I wonder. Same as Khalifa. He's got no restraint, so he can't help himself. He just runs around pinching things willy-nilly. We need to find more restraint, do we?
I know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. As I already mentioned, the Maori Moriori collision represents a small test within a medium-sized test. What can we learn from all of Polynesia, about environmental influences on human societies? What differences among societies on different Polynesian islands need to be explained? Polynesia as a whole presented a much wider range of environmental conditions than did just New Zealand and the Chathams, although the latter defined one extreme, the simple end, of Polynesian organization. In their subsistence modes, Polynesians ranged from the hunter-gatherers of the Chathams through slash-and-burn farmers to practitioners of intensive food production living at some of the highest population densities of any human societies. Polynesian food producers variously intensified production of pigs, dogs, and chickens. They organized workforces to construct large irrigation systems for agriculture and to enclose large ponds for fish production. The economic basis of Polynesian societies consisted of more or less self-sufficient households, but some islands also supported guilds of hereditary part-time craft specialists. In social organization, Polynesian societies ran the gamut from fairly egalitarian village societies to some of the most stratified societies in the world, with many hierarchically ranked lineages and with chief and commoner classes whose members married within their own class. What is egalitarian?
I don't know.
Egalitarian definition. It's relating to or believing in the principle that all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. That's a great word to know. So some of them were fairly egalitarian, and then some of them, and then stratified. Form or arrange into strata. Okay, so that just means like sectioning off. In political organization, Polynesian islands ranged from landscapes divided into independent tribal or village units up to multi-island proto-empires that devoted standing military establishments to invasions of other islands and wars of conquest. Finally, Polynesian material culture varied from the production of no more than personal utensils to the construction of monumental stone architecture. How can all that variation be explained? So, contributing to these differences among Polynesian societies were at least 6 sets of environmental variables among Polynesian islands: island climate, geological type, marine resources, area, terrain fragmentation, and isolation. Let's examine the ranges of these factors before considering their specific consequences for Polynesian societies. The climate in Polynesia varies from warm tropical or subtropical on most islands, which lie near the equator, to temperate on most of New Zealand, and cold subantarctic on the Chathams and the southern part of New Zealand's South Island. Hawaii's Big Island, though lying well within the Tropic of Cancer, has mountains high enough to support alpine habitats and receive occasional snowfalls. Rainfall varies from the highest recorded on Earth in New Zealand's Fiordland and Hawaii's Alakai Swamp on Kauai. Sorry, I don't know why
Hey,
my brain
give
is
that
like
back.
What's the matter?
tonight.
Is this a portrait of some pretty boy?
To
No need
only
to get your
one
knickers in a
tenth
twist.
as much on
It's
islands so
important.
dry that they are
It
marginal
must
for
be.
agriculture.
Why would you steal it if it wasn't?
He's falling
Let's just say I
asleep.
can't have it doing the rounds.
No.
Yes, you are.
I'll buy it off you.
Island
That's fair,
geological
right?
types include coral
No,
atolls,
it's not for sale.
raised
We need
limestone,
it.
volcanic
Need
islands,
it for what?
pieces of
Go on, this should be
continents,
good.
If I tell you,
and mixtures
will
of
you
those
give it back?
types. At one extreme,
I might.
innumerable islets,
It's a picture
such as
of one of
those
the great
of the
sages.
Tuamotu
We
archipelago,
need
are
you to
flat,
find him.
low atolls
He's gonna
barely
help us
rising
defeat
above sea
Shadar.
level. Other former
You what?
atolls, such as Henderson and
What did you
Rennell,
just say?
We're going
have
to
been
defeat
lifted
Shadar,
far
all of
above
us,
sea level
together.
to
And
constitute
we reckon this
raised
great sage
limestone
might have a
islands.
proper powerful magic in it.
Both of those
Molly boy is
atoll
gonna need
types
it.
present
Okay, we
problems
told
to
you why
human
we need it.
settlers
Now
because
give it back.
they consist entirely of limestone without other stones, have very thin soil,
You
and
lot
lack
think you
permanent
can
fresh
take
water.
down
At the
Shadar?
opposite extreme, the largest Polynesian island, New
And you
Zealand,
want to
was
drag
an
Pretty
old,
Boy here into
geologically
it
diverse
too?
We sure
continental
do. And
fragment
he'll
of
help us. I just know he
Gondwanaland,
will.
offering a
You
range
must
of
be even
mineral
more
resources,
gullible than
including
you look.
commercially
That's
exploitable
or you're just
iron,
plain
coal,
stupid.
gold, and
You
jade.
realize nobody
Most other
stands up
large
to
Polynesian
Shadar and
islands are
survives, do
volcanoes
we?
that rose from the sea,
Nobody.
have never formed parts of a
Huh?
continent,
Nothing.
and may or may not include areas of
Never
raised
stand a chance.
limestone.
I think
While
we do.
lacking New Zealand's geological richness, the
One of them
oceanic
made my
volcanic
father,
islands
Rashad,
at least are an
believe
improvement
again.
over
And he
atolls
saved me
from the
too.
Polynesians' perspective in that they offer
Rashad?
diverse types of volcanic stones,
The
some
great
of which are highly
sage.
suitable for
Rashad.
making stone
The very
tools.
same. And he's itching to take Shadar down now.
You're joking. If Rashad is...
We're not joking.
Fine. I give up. I can't believe I'm
The
saying
volcanic
this, but
islands
not
differ
quite
among
half
themselves. Ow, my
Alright,
neck.
I'll do that. I'll show you
Okay.
where to find him.
The
You know
elevations
him?
of the
Yeah, a
higher
bit.
ones generate
know.
rain in the
Thanks so
mountains.
much.
So the islands are
I'm
heavily
sweating.
weathered and have deep
Good to
soils
meet
and
you.
permanent streams.
I'm not a kid.
That is true, for
I'm Oliver.
instance, of the
All
societies
right.
Samoa,
Keep your hair on.
Marquesas,
Good
and
to meet
especially
you,
Hawaii.
Oliver.
I'm
The
Esther.
Polynesian
Jumping Lord
archipelago
High
with the
Lord of the
highest
Fairies.
mountains.
So, I
Among
guess
the
we should
lower
set sail,
islands,
huh?
Tonga and
This
to a
is so
lesser extent
exciting,
Easter
Oliver.
also have rich soil because of volcanic ash falls, but they lack Hawaii's large streams. As for marine resources, most Polynesian islands are surrounded by shallow water and reefs, and many also encompass lagoons. Those environments teem with fish and shellfish. However, the rocky coasts of Easter, Pitcairn in the Marquesas, and the steeply dropping ocean bottom and absence of coral reefs around those islands are much less productive of seafood. Area is another obvious variable, ranging from the 100 acres of Anuta. Andrew. He's falling asleep.
Yeah.
I should stop.
You caught you were seeing things.
Stop trying to gaslight me.
That was just a long blink.
Oh my God. Okay.
Look, we just got a new member on our team.
Who the hell is this guy?
He's Swain.
Like Boatswain.
Yeah. Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Move closer to the green treasure chest. Where?
Alright. I'm gonna continue now.
Continue.
I know this is like bedtime stories. Area is another obvious variable, ranging from the 100 acres of Anuta, the smallest permanently inhabited isolated Polynesian island, up to the 103,000 square miles of the mini-continent of New Zealand. The habitable terrain of some islands, notably the Marquesas, is fragmented into steep walled valleys by ridges, while other islands such as Tonga and Easter consist of gently rolling terrain, presenting no obstacles to travel and communication. The last environmental variable to consider is isolation. Easter and the Chathams are small and so remote from other islands that, once they were initially colonized, the societies thus founded developed into total isolation from the rest of the world. New Zealand, Hawaii, and the Marquesas are also very remote, but at least the latter two apparently did have some further contact with other archipelagos after the first colonization. And all three consist of many islands close enough to each other for regular contact between islands of the same archipelago. Most other Polynesian islands were in more or less regular contact with other islands. In particular, the Tongan archipelago lies close enough to the Fijian, Samoan, and Wallis archipelagos to have permitted regular voyaging between archipelagos and eventually to permit Tongans to undertake the conquest of Fiji. So that's like one section. I can probably take a break.
You don't gotta take a break.
He says as he's falling asleep, and then he says he's like bad dreams.
It wasn't too bad, the dream. It was literally just unsatisfying. Like, I'm playing a game I can't win. Oh. I'm okay.
Oh, my neck.
I'm alright. I'm just fine.
Well, I was actually reading,
Yeah?
I need to finish this 1 hour chapter. It's actually a novella. It was like a bonus in this book that I read, so I kind of want to read that.
Okay.
It's a fiction, so it might be a little more interesting. I'll just pick up where I left off. So basically, backstory is, this is a novella. It's a prequel to the book that I just read, and it's called The Lord Sorcerer. And these guys are in a war. They're part of the English military. They're fighting a war with France. And that's all you really need to know. But this dude named Elias is he has magical powers, and he's technically not from the realm, like the human realm. He's like actually a fairy, but he doesn't like the culture in the fairy world. Like, he thinks they're all like really superficial and crass and unfeeling. And so he just like abandoned it and he came to the human realm because at least there's a little bit more compassion there. And then somehow he like winds up in this war and we don't know how. So, should I start from the beginning? Because I literally just started it.
I mean, if you want.
Uh, let's see.
Yay, I completed another stamp board. Yay.
Okay. Like any good English army man, Albert preferred to avoid complaining. It had been a long week of trudging on mountain roads, of course, and bitter winter weather, no less. But this, he decided, was simply to be borne. His sturdy, more expensive boots were holding up much better than those of the other men, at least. And he decided he ought to thank his mother in the next letter home for insisting on their purchase. Bollocks, cursed Gillette next to him. Didn't seem so bloody far when we was headed to Spain. To Spain. Didn't seem so bloody far because we was winning then, groused Baxter on Albert's other side. That smug French git's going to take back everything we left behind, too. Stiff upper lip chaps, Albert reminded them helpfully. Napoleon has his own troubles, I'm sure. Besides, just think of the French that's chasing us. Every misery we endure, they're forced to share alike. Gillette spat onto the ground at the mention of the French. At least there's that, he muttered. Keeps me a little warmer thinking of them frogs shivering. Baxter groaned. Most of them's just like us, I bet. Being marched by their officers, just kidding, 'cause they're told. I'd be happier, me, if they left us alone and went off to one of their colonies for the holidays. Here it's nice in the Indies this time of year. The French are not really like us, though, are they? This observation came from the man just behind Gillette, surprising the lot of them. Albert turned his head and frowned as he focused on the speaker. It was Wilder. Or at least Albert thought that was the only man's surname. The soldier had joined the regiment only recently after one of the more devastating attacks on the army's retreating flank. Wilder was easily the most peculiar among their current ranks. Though he was probably around Albert's age, his face had a young, ageless quality to it, which never seemed diminished by the cold and misery. Wilder's once red coat was just as stained and battered as everyone else's, but he wore it with a strange nobility which made him seem more like an officer than the run-of-the-mill grunt he really was. What do you mean by that exactly? Albert asked him curiously. How are the French not like us? I mean, other than the obvious, that is. Wilder turned his head to consider Albert. Why, they're evil, of course, he replied. He said it so simply, so naturally, that Albert couldn't help but pause. The statement was no exaggeration. Rather, Wilder spoke the words with utter seriousness, as though he were discussing some mythical monster from a fairy tale. Perhaps the French do not look evil, Wilder added, but many terrible things in this world take on a fair or mundane forms. Fairies, for instance. Baxter shivered and crossed himself at the mention. Even Gillett showed his face for a moment, with discomfort showing on his features. Albert started. He blinked slowly. I don't know that I ought to say this, but I fear that you are incorrect on this account, Wilder. The French are no more good or evil than we are, at least on the cosmic scale. God loves all his children, after all. Wilder narrowed his gaze at the words. This close, Albert saw that the man's eyes were a peculiar molten reddish gold that didn't seem quite natural.
Hey, girl. Just
aye.
pause
Yeah?
for a sec.
Weigh anchor! Another voyage lies before us. My heart sings for the seas. Set sail!
We're moving.
Ah, it's proper exciting, this is.
This is going to be fun.
Men, the seven seas await. Unfurl the sails!
7 seas. There are 7 seas in this realm, too?
Apparently. Well, isn't this fun?
It's just like Wind Waker.
They're really taking inspiration from everything, aren't they?
They really freaking are.
Shadar, are you straggling?
And he spoke so highly of himself.
Fool, did he really think the Guardian of the Volcano could defeat the pure-hearted one?
I fear that executor may be a trifle toothless. Perhaps he forgot his orders.
Well, Shadar. What next?
This time, I shall leave nothing to chance. This time, he will suffer by my own hand.
So, it has come to this at last.
And not before time. Your Grace's silence, please.
Very well, Shadar. I will grant you a new power. The power to summon the storm.
You honor me, your radiance. This time, he will be destroyed.
Oh no. Now I'm on a ship.
Do not fail me, Executor.
Okay. You can go back to reading.
Alright. Wilder narrowed his gaze at the words. This close, Albert saw that the man's eyes were a peculiar molten reddish gold that didn't seem quite natural. Albert nearly followed back the blade and crossed himself at that uncanny stare, but he resisted the urge, just barely. I've heard it told over and over that the French are evil, Wilder informed Albert coolly. But they are in fact the cause of everything terrible in England. Now you insist that they are not evil. I admit, Mr. Lowe, that does seem strange to me. Albert reached up to rub his forehead. Wilder, he thought, was an odd one. Albert was beginning to suspect that the poor man was ever so slightly touched in the head. It is not so strange for human beings to touch poor and easy, villains to blame for all their troubles, Albert told him. We often lie to ourselves every bit as much as we lie to each other. In order to feel some comfort in hard times, he paused. Do not mistake me. The French are a danger to everything we hold dear, but their defeat will not solve every English woe overnight. Wilder's stare grew ever darker at the words, and Albert shifted uncomfortably on his feet. Lie? Wilder asked. What do you mean by lying, Mr. Lowe? Baxter snorted. What's this new joke? Are you having a son, Wilder? A look of consternation crossed Wilder's face at this. Albert suspected that Wilder was not, in fact, tapping them on. To lie is... Albert trailed off, blinking quickly. He struggled to put together an explanation of the simple concept. It is to say something untrue, he said finally. For instance, I could say that the sky is green today. Albert gestured up towards the pale wintry sky. Wilder glanced up sharply, and Albert got the strangest feeling that the man truly expected to see a green sky. As his eyes focused upwards, however, he frowned with sudden uncertainty. But the sky is not green, Mr. Lowe, Wilder said slowly. The man's voice now held a thread of underlying fear. Philip guffawed. No, Wilder, he assured the other man. The sky's green, all right. We're just not seeing it proper. We'll not right back. Albert shot Gillette a disapproving look. The sky is not green, Wilder, he said reassuringly, and neither are the French pure evil. Elias, Wilder corrected him. Those molten gold eyes searched the sky, vainly, desperately hoping Albert thought to catch a glimpse of green. My name is Elias, Mr. Lowe. Wilder is simply the surname they gave me at the workhouse. Albert sighed heavily. Elias, he corrected himself. You need not look so distressed. The French are not pure evil, but they are still our enemy. You need feel no guilt for killing them, but they would surely do the same to you if they could. Albert would later reflect that he should have known better than to utter such prophetic words in the same conversation as the fickle fair folk. Surely some nasty member of the gentry had been listening in and had decided to fulfill his fateful observation. The first shouts went up from behind them, further down the mountain trail. Shots rang out in quick succession, screams followed in the wake of each thundering echo. Chaos erupted, as it always had done during the skirmishes at their backlines. Men fumbled for their muskets, loading up their ammunition. There was no room here for a proper firing line. Albert was not even certain he knew where to find the nearest superior officer, spread out as they were along the trail. Baxter cursed. It's still no ammo, May. he hissed. What these stupid supply lines? Albert cringed. I'm out as well, he said. I suppose they'd look down on us shooting off our ramrods, wouldn't they? Blow my arm off that way anyway, Baxter muttered. But there was a hint of panic in his tone now, and Albert thought the man might be seriously considering the possibility. Wilder, Elias, Albert corrected himself dimly, pulled out a pouch and tossed it towards Baxter. The other soldiers blinked and caught it with a dull clicking of lead. Baxter widened his eyes. The pouch must have been nearly full. But surely Elias had been shooting Frenchmen with the rest of them until now. Have mine, Elias offered Baxter gravely. Start ready your weapon. He grabbed Albert by the arm, dragging him back. Head further up, Mr. Lowe. Elias said, we cannot have our surgeon taking a lead ball to the face. Albert flushed at this suggestion. He did not like the way the other men protected him during danger. It made him feel cowardly, and he could not help but feel that his noble father would disapprove. Nonetheless, he stumbled up the trail, pulling his musket from his back in case of danger. The French were growing talented at harrying their back lines. Much sooner than Albert would have liked, he heard the gunfire draw closer, and saw the dirty blue of French uniforms flashing among the smoke. A musket ball whizzed past his shoulder, thudding into the rocks with a faint puff of dirt. Elias kept a few paces behind Albert, with his posture straight and his uncanny golden eyes staring through the smoke. Albert briefly fancied that the man really could see everything that was happening despite the haze. The other man's lip moved, but Albert could not quite make out the words that he murmured to himself. Another crack sounded from below, and Elias staggered back, collapsing to the ground. Albert rushed towards him, dropping to his knees. Where are you hit? He yelled urgently. The ruckus was now deafening, and, at first, he thought that Elias might not have heard him, judging from the glazed look on his face. But Elias merely shook his head and muttered something. Louder! Albert urged him. Where are you hit? Elias blinked at him slowly. I was not hit, he said this time when he spoke. It was soft and calm and measured, but somehow the words wove their way perfectly through the din to settle next to Albert's ear. Albert knit his brow. He's in shock, he thought. He started pulling at Elias's jacket, searching for spots of blood. Elias tugged himself away from Albert's hand, struggling to rise to his feet. I was not hit, he repeated in that soft, eerie tone. And the sky is not green, Mr. Lowe. I do not know how to lie. Do you understand?
Fear not, boy, though you have come a long way. Come then, show me your power.
Who the hell is that?
It's the Dark Djinn himself.
Oh, it's him.
What? A boss battle with Shadar?
The Savior, at long last.
On our ship.
You can keep going, man.
A cry went up nearby, and Elias jerked his gaze before them. A figure resolved from out of the smoke, blue jacketed and not red. Albert had only long enough to note the musket in the Frenchman's hands pointed directly at him before the gun went off. What happened next he later found very difficult to explain. Elias threw up his arm and breathed out a word. It was not a word that Albert had ever heard before, and he counted himself a very fine linguist indeed. With an ability in French, Latin, and Spanish at least, it was a word that made the world around them tremble. It somehow made the rocks glitter, black, in fear. The smoky haze before them solidified into a serpentine form, which opened now its reddish-gold eyes and hissed at the Frenchman. The musket ball, which should have found its way to Elias and Albert, had thudded instead into the serpent now. The serpent. Now it clattered uselessly to the ground. The smoky creature struck at the French soldier with alarming speed, snapping its jaws closed upon his shoulder. The Frenchman screamed in mortal terror, as much as in pain, Albert was sure. The serpent reared up, dragging the enemy soldier up off his feet and tossing him away down the mountainside like rubber. Elias slipped away uncomfortably. The serpent in the smoke roiled and hissed again, and then it darted away, searching for new French prey. Albert stared at Elias, his mouth agape. He knew that he needed to get up, that there were surely injured men he needed to flee. But the sheer unreality of the situation had yet to wear off. Elias reached down to grasp Albert's arm, tugging him back up to his feet. "The magician," Albert whispered. Elias did not reply. It occurred to Albert that if Elias did reply, he might be forced to admit the truth. I do not know how to lie, he had said. But soon Elias too had disappeared into the smoke, following in the wake of his unearthly serpent. Surgeon! A man screamed from below. Find the surgeon! Albert did not have time to ponder further. Game over.
Wow. I just got my butt kicked. Oh, I'm losing so much money, eh? I don't like this aspect of the game over.
I know, because you don't know how, like, powerful they are.
Yeah, I guess I'm not going there yet. Because I just got my booty kicked. Keep going, Tara, for another 10 minutes and then I'm going to bed.
Okay. The butcher's bill was smaller than it ought to have been. Albert knew it, even as he rushed to treat what injury came his way. Baxter had taken a ball to the leg. Thankfully, it hadn't hit anything vital. But the man was going to be limping even more slowly than usual from now on. Albert did not voice aloud his real worry. If the wound became infected, the leg would almost surely move to more. Mr. Lowe, Lieutenant Banks barked at Albert as he approached. Any casualties this time? There was a weary note beneath the question. There were a few, I hear, Albert admitted. I have not been to the back yet, but I know that 1 or 2 men fell in the initial ambush. Lieutenant Banks grimaced. More than what I'd expect, he said. Maybe not, Albert replied slowly. The French retreated quite abruptly this time. He was just considering how to broach the subject of strange Elias Wilder and his magic when he heard Gillett exclaiming on his way up the trail towards them. Wilder and Roman thought, "Your gun out?" Gillett spat. "Next time, mark my words. The rest of us won't save your miserable arse." Gillett's features twisted with incredulous rage as he berated Elias, who was next to him. Elias, for his part, did not seem inclined to take the matter seriously. Indeed, Albert had begun to suspect that Elias did not require the gun that he had been given, and that he had not in fact been using it at all. Lieutenant Banks straightened sharply. "What's this now?" he demanded. Gillett froze. Angry as he was, Albert suspected that he did not intend to get his fellow soldier punished. "You always understand, sir," Gillett stammered. "We'll handle it, sir, don't you worry. Nothing else to worry about like that." Lieutenant Banks narrowed his eyes. "Have you been derelict to duty, Wilder?" he asked archly. Elias glanced up at the lieutenant. His golden eyes were hard and unimpressed. "I have killed at least 3 Frenchmen today, sir," he informed Lieutenant Banks. Gillett whirled on Elias. "The hell you have," he said. "Can't kill a man without your gun out, Wilder." Whatever mild generosity Gillett had been clinging to before now disappeared like smoke on the battlefield.
Like smoke on the Barbie. Sorry.
I am sure. What?
Sorry. Nothing.
Oh. Albert interjected abruptly. He glanced over towards the lieutenant. "I saw it with my own eyes, sir. Elias, Wilder. He used some dire magic to drive away the French. It is because of him that they fled." Lieutenant Banks blinked slowly at this. Albert could tell that the lieutenant was fighting against the urge to call him a liar. And so he added, "On my word, and on my family's honor, I am Lord Caraway's son, as you well know. I swear to you, Elias Wilder is a magician, and he has saved more than one of us today." Elias turned those golden eyes upon Albert now, and the look within them was not friendly. Rather, there was a hint of betrayal and a sense of tired resignation. Lieutenant Banks let out a long breath. He settled his hard gaze on Elias. "Well," he said, then with another breath. "Well?" Gillett also stared at Elias. Slowly he took a step back from the other man. "So I have to report this up the chain," said Lieutenant Banks. He jerked his chin up at Elias. "Come with me, Wilder." Elias climbed the trail in silence, keeping his eyes to the ground. Albert felt a mild stab of guilt as Elias passed him, though he wasn't sure just why he ought to feel that way. Surely, Albert thought, they'll give him a commendation for this. "Thank you," Albert murmured to Elias before he had gone too far ahead. Elias said nothing in return, but Albert thought perhaps that he saw the man nod. Elias did not return to the back lines that evening, nor in fact did Albert see him at all for the next few weeks. It was only once they had reached Portugal and settled into the winter that Albert heard the rumors. The regiment's magician took on an assistant magician, Baxter muttered to Albert one evening as a few of them sat down to mend their coats. Some raw talent from Kuni, please. Who that might be. I cannot imagine that magicians are so common on the ground, Albert admitted. Still, it has occurred to me that Elias must have been hiding his magic for a purpose. I begin to fear that I repaid his help with the poor turn. Poor turn for him, maybe, but it's better for us. We need more magicians, and that's a fact. I heard Napoleon's Lord Sorcerers skulking around the battlefields again. You know what they say happening in Court Coruna. Albert considered this grimly. The Battle of Coruna had been before his deployment. By all accounts, it had been an utter rout for the English. Surely there were other factors at work than just Napoleon's infamous Lord Sorcerer. But some said that the French magician had whipped up a literal hurricane to chase the English out of Spain. It was rare that the Lord Sorcerer...
Oh, no way. Geeko!
What?
Geeko, I'm like falling asleep and you pop in here now?
Literally, we're gonna end stream in 3 minutes.
Geeko, you got me geeking out, dude.
Geeko. We're both like so tired.
He says he's also falling asleep.
Man.
Geeko, we're all falling asleep. Geeko, by the way, we saw that you joined our server, so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, that's my brother's Discord.
That's her brother's Discord. Her brother's a funny ass dude. We've been trying to get him on stream one of these days, but he's a busy man. Let's just say that. Let's just say he's a busy man.
With his girlfriend.
Yeah. That's no excuse.
I know, I'm his sister.
Whoa,
Yeah,
these things are kicking my ass. Oh shit. Oh god, oh god.
Can you imagine? Geeko, what do you think about these banana monsters?
It killed me before I could heal! Oh! Why is everything so tough right now? Wow, the fucking difficulty really cranks the fuck up. Wow. I have no idea, man. This game looks so weird. Geeko, this is Studio Ghibli did this game, or they at least helped animate it and stylize it. So if you know Studio Ghibli, you know this game.
They made a sequel. They made Ni no Kuni too.
They didn't. Yeah, it's called Ni no Tuni.
Good one.
Did you know you've never watched a Studio Ghibli movie? Geeko, if you like animation at all, you've got to watch a Studio Ghibli movie.
He said he hasn't seen any of them?
Not a single one.
Really? Is that even possible?
I hate all animations. He hates all animations.
What?
Geeko, why do you hate animations?
Live action only, baby. For Geeko.
Geeko. Wow. I see something animate, he gets so angry.
Really?
Geeko.
He
what
like
the hell?
Bangs on his head.
You
and
bang on your head, you go,
his hair out. I fucking hate drawings.
You want to punch a hole in the drywall when you see something animate?
He goes, Ray!
He says, grr, stop moving.
You're supposed to be still.
I only like pictures! Stop!
This is Harry Potter's The Daily Prophet?
Geeko, we're sorry that you hate animation. This must be torture for you.
This must be so awful.
I also just noticed that this game's not quite fitting to the screen. Oh, of course that just happened. Oh, I know why. That would be why. Geeko says, I'm just kidding. There's good animation out there. Well, if you do like animation, I think that Tara's doing some motions with her hands.
Sorry.
It's giving me tingles.
I'm just loopy. Tired loopy.
I'm definitely loops.
What were you saying, Andrew?
I was saying, Geeko, if you want to enjoy some good animation, I watched Studio Ghibli before I even remotely liked anime. In fact, there was a period of time where I hated anime, but I still regarded Studio Ghibli as like some of the best animation I'd ever seen.
You want to make a distinction between, you mean like Japanese anime, right?
Yeah, well, that's technically Japanese anime.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. But it's so good, it's almost artful.
Wait, have you really not seen a Studio Ghibli movie?
He's never watched them. He says he's never watched them.
I would suggest what do you suggest he start with then?
Spirited Away. I think that one's beautiful.
I would have to concur with that.
Spirited Away is a very beautiful movie.
It's so stylish, like it's very recognizable style, the way that they did it, but it was produced by the same guy for decades, and that's why it has the same sort of like
Miyazaki.
Yeah, it has the same energy. But my first Ghibli movie was Kiki's Delivery Service.
That one's very comfy.
And that one, yeah, I remember my mom like rented it from Blockbuster back in like the early 2000s, and she was like, I got this movie from Blockbuster that I thought you might like I read the back and it's like a cartoon about this.
It's about you.
It's about a witch. I think we should watch it. And then we watched it and I liked it so much I got it for Christmas. And then it was one of my like regular. I had a VHS player, like a small box TV that we all had back in the early 2000s with the singular VHS player.
Yeah.
And I would pick one VHS every week, and I would watch that one movie all week.
Oh my god, you're crazy.
And that was what I did. I was like, I went and there was like a closet. I'm actually pointing at it right now. It's got all of our DVDs and VHSs in it. This is before DVDs.
Wait, you still have the VHSs? You haven't gotten rid of them yet?
All VHSs are in there.
Oh my goodness.
And
we got rid of all our VHSs.
Kiki's Delivery Service was one of the ones I had on rotation. It was like Beauty and the Beast, Kiki's Delivery Service. I think Princess Diaries was like a part of the rotation. All VHS, by the way. I think I had some like there's like some Jimmy Neutron and SpongeBob VHSs in there. Like Jimmy Neutron.
The orange tapes.
Like they used to sell those at like Target or Walmart or whatever.
Geeko said a couple things while you've been talking.
Oh yeah.
First he says, I think we should all just go to bed and get some nice, well-deserved rest. But then he says, I'm aware of several of them, I've never seen any. He says, did you know? In Brazil, Spirited Away is called Chihiro's Trip. And then
Chihiro. Yeah, because that's her name, isn't it?
Yep. And then his most recent message says, my regular movies were Polar Express and Monica's Gang in An Adventure in Time. We've already spoken about Polar Express. I think
we talked about Polar. Would you watch Polar Express in like non-Christmas time though?
Me? Or him?
No, Geeko.
Oh.
I probably did something like that.
No, that was a never ever for me. Still never ever.
Polar Express, yeah, that was in there. What else was in my rotation, man?
My rotation was all of the animated Scooby-Doo movies. The really good ones, though. So Zombie Island, Cyber Chase, Alien
Cyber Chase.
Invaders.
I would rent Cyber Chase from Blockbuster
Yeah.
quite frequently, as often as I could.
Witch's Ghost. Oh, that is such a good movie.
Yeah, I loved Cyber Chase so much. Um,
Geeko says the Scooby-Doo movies are fire. Cyber Chase was the best. Cyber Chase was really good. People don't like Cyber Chase that much, though. It's like an unpopular one.
that was probably my favorite one. I think I like Cyber Chase more than Zombie Island.
If I had to put them in order, I would do this: Witch's Ghost, Zombie Island, Cyber Chase, Alien Invaders. That would be my order.
Did we watch Witch's Ghost?
No,
together?
we actually never watched Witch's Ghost together. That one's hot.
Zombie Island was
That
the
one-
first one.
That one made
and
me
then
child
Witcher.
horny.
I remember the Alien Invaders, and I just remember not giving a shit. Like, I remember. Yeah, I just didn't care. didn't
I
care
think
about
that one's cool, but like this
cool.
the
Yeah,
plot
but
the
it's, like,
plot goes in a
boring.
weird spot because it's like, okay, Shaggy's falling in love with the secret hippie, and Scooby's kind of jealous but also happy because she's got a Labrador. And then she turns out to be an ugly fucking alien, so Shaggy gets fucking cucked. Dude, I will never forgive them for that. Why couldn't they just let Shaggy find love?
Wow. That's why it was last on his list. We see it now.
Why couldn't they just let Shaggy have two loves? Well, three. Food, Scooby-Doo, and a hot hippie babe. He says, I've never met anyone who doesn't like Cyber Chase. I've heard, well, it's not that I heard people dislike it. I've heard that people like it the least of all of them, which is crazy to me because I always thought Alien Invaders was considered the worst.
Like everyone I talked to about Cyber Chase loves Cyber Chase.
I think people think it's too basic of a plot.
No, are you kidding me? Like, do you know the appeal of like? It's got the same appeal as like Kingdom Hearts. Where in Kingdom Hearts, like, you're excited to go to, like, the next world or the next level. It's just the same concept where I was like, ooh, what's the next level? Where are they going? That's how I felt watching that movie.
Yeah, I actually agree. I think there's a lot to love about that one. I just remember reading some discourse on it that I was like, oh wow, I didn't expect it. Oh, Geeko says he hates Kingdom Hearts.
He does.
He asks, "What are your thoughts on the Scooby-Doo live-action movies?" They're shitty,
liked
but
them as
they're
a
great.
kid.
Yeah, they're
I
shitty,
liked
but
them
they're
as
great.
kids.
Yeah.
But like, they're really fucking weird watching them now. They're so weird.
A lot of it is like a "What are you thinking?" moment. Like, just like, what was your idea here? But it is very good.
It was for kids. It was for kids and like.
But it wasn't. It was for kids, and also it wasn't. Because it was actually written to be an adult, like, centered, like... It was written with adults in mind, originally. But they told James Gunn, current writer for the fucking... Well, he was on MCU, but he's the head of DC's fucking superhero division. They told him he went too far, and we had to like really take it down a notch. So, yeah.
It just feels weird. It's like, it's got like sexual elements to it as well.
It does.
Like,
It made me horny.
as a kid.
No,
Yeah.
no. Now, yeah, she's hot. She's hot as fuck. Sarah Michelle Gellar, SMG.
Yeah.
She's a great Daphne. Hey, for what it's worth, all the
Yeah,
actors they chose in that were fucking great.
I just like, I don't know, all those people
Geeko
that were cast at the time were just like oozing 90s, 90s, like, you know.
Oh yeah, for 100%.
Popular
SMG
kid.
was like a '90s actress. So
Freddie
was
Prinze
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Jr..
Yeah.
SMG. Even like, what was her name? Like Linda, what's her face? That played Velma?
I forget her name, but
He
yeah.
was in Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah. And what's
And
his
then obviously, and then the
Matthew
fucking
Lillard.
guy from Scream.
Yeah,
What was his name?
Matthew
Yeah,
Lillard, yeah.
Matthew Lillard.
Geeko said all right, man, to the horny comment. So he just goes, all right, man. um, yeah, Lillard's fucking great. Hey, those two films basically got Lillard a lifelong career because he still voices Shaggy.
Well, he does such a great job.
Yeah, he still voices Shaggy.
He's perfect for that. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so that's awesome.
Can I just
That's
say
awesome.
one thing though? They let Frank Welker, literally the original voice of Fred, who still does it to this day. God bless that man. He does the voice of Scooby now, and I don't like it, and I have not liked it since he started doing it. I really wish they would have kept the voice actor for Scooby from back during those movies. I thought that was the perfect voice actor for Scooby-Doo. He was great. But now they let fucking Frank Welker
Yeah,
do
those
it.
movies just have like a polish about them.
They really do. They put a lot of money in those. Also, I really, really liked Shaggy's voice actor in those ones too, and they got rid of him too.
All the voice acting was like really clean
Yeah.
and thoughtful. I don't know.
Anyways, I'm a big Scooby fan, folks. Like, really big Scooby
He's a
fan.
Scooby fan. I don't really care that much.
I love all Scooby products. Actually, I don't love all of them, but I do like, I would say, a majority of them, and I think they're still doing good stuff with them. Except for Velma. Velma really sucks. Velma was probably the worst thing that they've ever made with the Scooby-Doo IP. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Those PS2 games are my shit. Oh man, they were so good. Night of 100 Frights is such a good game. Unironically.
Ooh, I didn't even know they made PS2 games.
PS2
I know that they made that
GameCube.
one computer game. There's a Scooby-Doo computer game for probably like Windows. I don't know, the one that was out in like the year 2000. Like I don't.
Yeah,
fucking know.
Windows 2000.
Yeah. I didn't know. But yeah, it was about like they go to
Ghost Town?
they don't go to a ghost town. They go to a carnival. They go to a theme park,
Oh, okay.
and the villain is a evil clown.
Oh, I always wanted that one as a kid. I had the Ghost
My
Town
friend
one.
Michaela had it as a kid, and I always wanted to play it when I went over to her house, but she didn't never wanted to play it because it took forever for the computer to boot up.
Yes.
It was such a slow computer. And then secondly, like she had a basketball machine, like a what is it called? Anyway, it's like a basketball machine,
Yeah.
and she always wanted to like shoot hoops. And I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want to play Scooby-Doo.
always doing you. I had the showdown in Ghost Town one. First Frights and Spooky Swamp were your childhood. First Frights I heard was very good. I never heard of Spooky Swamp, to be honest with you. One of these days we should do Night of 100 Frights. That's such a fun game.
I would be interested to see that. Yeah, I would. I would love to watch you play that.
Yeah.
Geeko, you're invited.
Yeah, Geiko, you're invited to watch Night of 100 Frights. Because that game is quite fun. It's also got some really great sound effects.
Oh, but wait. Geeko doesn't like animation.
Yeah, wait a second. Geiko. Something's not checking out
Hold
here.
Hold up. I'm so confused. I'm disoriented.
Geeko, you've completely thrown off Terra, and that's a bannable offense in my streams.
Whoa. Ugh.
So you have 5 seconds to, well, explain yourself or fess up. It was a good run, fellas. We forgive you, Geeko. Yeah, we'll do Night of 100 Fights. Maybe I'll
You're
download.
forgiven.
I'll download the ROM for that next time, and maybe we can play that. Take a small break from Geeko Kuni.
Yeah, we're gonna name the title after you next time.
Yeah, the next Nino Kuni stream will do Geeko Kuni.
Geeko Kuni.
All right, it is actually bedtime for both of us, Geeko. So we're gonna get going. Thank you for joining, even if it was at the end. So we're always happy to see you pop in.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, Geeko. He says good night,
Good night.
Kings.
Talk later.